Hello?
I'm here.
Oh, sorry, Deborah. I was yelling at someone in my office. I apologize about that. I was calling you about your property there on Chestnut Avenue. You look like you had filled out a form on my website saying that you're looking to sell that. Is that correct?
I'm thinking seriously about it.
I gotcha. How much were you looking to get for it?
Well, it's not paid off. So enough to take care of that and a little extra.
All right. How much is owed on it?
And it does have a little, it has a couple of, well, it has one flaw to it right now. It has a leak in its roof.
Okay.
But that leak has been there for 3 freaking years. I've been here for 3 years. And I had some guy come out and fix it, and he allegedly fixed it, and he won't come back.
That sounds like a roofer.
That was a roofer.
Yeah. So
then
how?
He has to admit that he fucked up and didn't fix it. And it's a metal roof. Metal roofs are not supposed to leak.
That is right.
So he fucked up. Excuse my French.
Yeah, you're right.
Honey, how old am I? My husband died 3 years ago, October 5th of 23. Not even that. And so I'm here by myself. I have no family in the state of Oklahoma. They're 600 miles away. And I can't get a job. No one will hire me. I'm too old.
How old are you?
71.
You don't sound 71.
No, I don't feel it either.
Yeah.
I'm old. I tell everybody I'm old enough to know better, young enough to do it again, and hope the hell I don't get caught.
You're spicy.
I hear that giggle in the back. Yeah, I heard you. Snicker, snicker, snicker. Oh, God, he's got this weird woman on the phone. Yeah, oh, shit. Well, you're damn straight you do.
Yeah.
I also carry a gun.
Well, you're in Oklahoma. You're supposed to, right?
Damn straight. I'm born and raised in Minnesota, where we are Minnesota nice.
That's what they say.
That's right.
We're nicer. We're nicer down here, aren't we?
Where?
Well, I'm in Texas.
Okay, yes.
Yeah.
My kids are in Texas. I lived in Texas for 18 and a half years. I love Texas.
Yeah, well, Oklahoma sucks. So let me buy your house.
Oklahoma does suck.
Yeah.
Oklahoma. Well, I live in a one-horse town. It has one Walmart, one McDonald's, one Burger King, one Walgreens, a CVS, one of every kind of pizza joint you can think of, and one Chinese place, one Japanese place. See where I'm going with this? It's a one-horse town. We do not have Starbucks. We do not have Chick-fil-A. We do not have White Castle or Crystals in the South.
Man.
I have to go to Lawton to do that. That's like 40 miles away to get that shit.
You ever watch the movie about going to White Castle? What was that movie called? The movie where they get super high and they got to go get White Castle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People go to White Castle just so they have something to throw up when they're drunk.
Harold and Kumar go to White Castle. God, I love that movie.
That's a funny movie.
It is.
My God.
Man, I bet you would be fun to get high with and go to White Castle.
Well, I've never been high, so that would be a real challenge. I don't know what I'd be like then.
I'm just saying, you're 71. It would be a good time.
I'm sure it would be fun.
Yeah.
And like I said, I like to have a good time. And I love motorcycles. I don't have one anymore, but I had one.
Oh, man. All right.
I want to buy a trike is what I want.
You want to buy a trike. All right. So how much do I need to give you for this house to pay out the mortgage and give you enough to get out of there and get a trike?
I have absolutely no idea. I also have an RV sitting in my driveway. 39-foot RV.
I don't want that. I just want.
I've got to find someone to buy that out of here, too.
All right.
So I have no idea what it's worth.
How much do you owe on it?
I have no idea.
You have no idea?
I don't know.
All right. Well, let me tell you. You didn't think I could do that, did you?
Oh, I know you could do anything you put your mind to. Oh, shut the hell up. Damn. I'm so sick and tired of getting these things. Hey, Where's the button? 580. Someone. Stop that. Shut up. Thank you. Thank you. I yell at my phone. I'm so sick of every only thing that's on my phone now is, let's make your funeral arrangements. I'm going, what, you son of a bitch, get the fuck off my phone. That, or you're entitled to a $3,200, whatever it is, from Medicare. Yeah, right.
They cold call you and tell you make your funeral arrangements?
Yes.
Damn. That is like got to be the worst job of all time.
That's ballsy, if you ask me.
Seriously. That
and
sucks.
My husband was killed at Duncan Regional Hospital. I was the patient.
What? What do you mean?
I was the patient. I went in because I was having hallucinations. I drove in because I saw a helicopter hovering over my flat screen TV in my living room. And then when I got there, I told him that I'd also seen Bozo the Clown jump out of a tree in front of my truck that I was driving. Just an outline, but I knew it was him because of the big fuzzy hair and the big feet. So they thought I'd had a stroke. Do I sound like I'd had a stroke?
No.
I didn't think so. Well, then they decided to keep me overnight. So I said, well, I'm worried about my husband because he's very unstable. So they took my truck with the lift on the back, my Chevy Silverado quad cab with a lift on the back to go pick up my husband 1.6 miles from the hospital, pick him up and bring him to the hospital to be with me so I would feel better. They did a CT scan on my head with no contrast. And I told them, I said, you're going to do that damn test and you're going to find nothing there. And I was joking with them. You're going to find nothing. And so then they took me to a room and they did some carotid artery thing, see if I had blood clots in my carotids. And that was it. They didn't find that. Then they decided to keep me overnight. But there's no place for my 6'6", 293-pound husband to hang out overnight. So I said, Mike, just take my bed. I'm fine. And I was going to give him my bed. And it was, shit, he's been in the hospital so many years. Off and on. We were married for 30 years. And so I was going to give him my bed. And they said, no, you have to sleep in that bed. I said, no, I don't. I said, you're getting paid for it. What the hell do you care who sleeps in it? I'm used to sleeping in a chair or under the bed or in the shower. I mean, I've slept in the weirdest places just because he's been in the hospital and he's a vet. But they wouldn't allow it. And so then he said, well, then screw these people, I'll go home. So they went back down to the ER where they brought him with my truck. And he said he needed to go home. And they said, well, how are you going to get there? And he said, well, I'm sure, he said, I wasn't there. I'm sure he said, well, I'm hoping you'll take me home again. And they said, well, no, we got you here. So then he said, screw you, and he took off on his four-wheeled electric scooter with headlights and taillights and a big thing on the back, big vest on the back that damn near it glows in the dark when car lights hit it. It's 1:30 in the morning. They wouldn't take him home. And so they chased him around the driveway until he rolled off a curb because he's also blind in one eye. And rolled it off a curb. It tipped over, threw him off it, and hit his head on the curb.
Oh, my God.
Let's add insult to injury. They called 911 for an ambulance to bring him into the hospital, 60 feet into the hospital. I was up on the floor. I knew nothing about this. I heard about this afterwards. They did a CT scan where they gave it to him with contrast, but you'd never give a CT scan with a head injury with contrast immediately because you don't find the bleed. You add to the bleed if it's there. This I know because I'm a freaking trauma nurse. I used to fly with Air Care out of Minneapolis. Robins go back and forth to Brainerd and bring stupid people back doing dumb shit. And they tell me, trust me, I've seen some of the shit I've seen people bring. I've worked there. I worked at Brackenridge in Austin, the intensive care unit, in OBGYN. The only place I won't work is pediatrics. I can't do pediatrics anymore. It's not that I don't want to, it's just that my heart won't let me. My heart just bleeds for that. So I'm sick with adults. In fact, I had a patient one time, he came in, he was a sheriff and a fire marshal, and he had a head injury.
I'm in a world of hurt.
For 6 days, and he had a head injury, and nobody could get him to wake up. So they gave him to me one day, and I said, okay, I called his mom.
This might be the rest of the episode.
Love? And she said he loves his cowboy hat, his boots, and his country music. I said, bring them to me. He brought them to me. I started the music, pulled the door shut, put the boots up by his face so he could smell them, put the hat on his chest, and pulled his arms across and tucked them so that he was holding his hat, turned up the music. He started singing with the radio. 40 minutes later, he started tapping his foot on the bed. I called his mom. His mom dad were still they were having lunch. And I said, where are you? And she said, we're at the cafeteria. And I said, well, are you planning on stopping back? And then she said, well, we hadn't thought about it. I said, I think you should stop back. And she said, is there something wrong? And I said, oh, no, there's nothing wrong. But he'll probably want to say hello by then. And she went, what? I woke him up by stepping outside of the box and doing something unusual. Blowing his head off with the music, the boots with the leather, and holding his hat. I said, you just have to find what he likes the most and why he wants to come back. And that was it. And my charge nurse just about flipped out. She said, what the hell did you do? I said, well, he's awake, isn't he? And considering the next day they were planning on shutting him off. I said, no, we're not going to do this. He was 36 years old. I said, no, we're not shutting him off. And so I thought, outside the box. I've always been a weird nurse. They've always told me
that. Those are some incredible stories, and I apologize. I got a little bit when you were telling me the story about your husband. My dad passed away from a brain trauma injury, so.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. I'm sorry to hear about your husband there.
And then weirder things after they did the CT, he went into cardiac arrest, but they got him back again. So then they put him up on the intensive care unit. That's another bill. But they'd also pulled his chart because he'd been in the hospital there before. It says power of attorney, wife, Deborah, call her. And I was already in the hospital, so they knew I was there.
Right.
And the second page says veteran. If you don't call the VA, they will not pay your bill or anything to do with it. And so they didn't, because they didn't pay any of it. So then the third thing was, patient is Catholic. Call this man a priest. They didn't get him a priest. He never got last rites. The next morning, I went to leave to go home. Actually, I tried to go home at 3:30 in the morning, and they put a guard at my door. And, they put a guard. But then they took him and put him up in intensive care where he woke up in the middle of the night, panicked, and they let him go. Had another arrest, and they let him go.
Man, I'm so sorry to hear that. That's horrible.
And but the next day, like I said, I was getting ready to leave, 9:30. I had my one piece of cold toast and coffee. And I'm heading out the door. I said, I'm putting on my dirty clothes from yesterday. I'm out of here. And they couldn't stop me. They didn't have a diagnosis. They couldn't figure it out why I was having hallucinations. And so I went to go home, and they had somebody escort me out of. I've never been escorted out of a bar, much less out of a hospital. Jesus Christ. So then they took me down to intensive care, where I said, why the hell are we going here? And he said, because your husband is in intensive care. That's when I found out the next morning at like 10 o'clock that he was in intensive care. Ran inside. I yelled at them. I said, where's Michael Truman? They said, room 3. Went down there. There he was, laying on a cot. All the machines are there, tubes still in his mouth. Because once they put a tube in, the only person that can take it out is the mortuary. Once they put it in, and if you've died, they can't take it out again. And then, so they went ahead and did that. I went down there, and there he was. All the machines are still in. I said, but nothing's on. And I said, what the hell is this? And she said, and they said, well, he died about 5.5 hours ago. They didn't have time to tell me that my husband was dead, but they had enough time to call a mortuary, and I was there for 10 minutes, and the mortuary came to pick him up, to take him. The problem with that was that I said, yes, you may take him to this mortuary. I didn't have any choices in the matter whatsoever. And apparently somebody told them that I had wanted a direct cremation So they took him to Oklahoma City where they cremated him. And they did that to hide the fact that they gave us CT with contrast. And the contrast put him into a cardiac arrest. So in other words, they fucked up. And then when they brought him home, I did not order it, cremation. And since they didn't bother to call the VA and tell them that this all happened, he didn't get anything from the VA. He didn't get a flag. He didn't get any recognition whatsoever that he died, and he doesn't have his plot in a national cemetery because nobody called and told him. They didn't tell him. So yeah, this hospital is known for killing people. Mike is now number 7. That people have gone in for extremely minor problems, or gone in for no particular reason at all, and died.
That's unreal.
And I can't find a lawyer who's got balls enough to say, let's sue this son of a bitch. And they've already been sued twice and lost both times. But there's not a lawyer here in Duncan that'll do it because they're afraid if their family member has to go to the hospital, they'll be killed too. Fucking balls. Nobody's got balls in this town anymore.
I think we need to get you out of there. What do you think?
I think I'm so pissed off. The only thing I love my house. I do. It's big enough for 2 people. That's what I wanted.
Deborah, hold on 1 second for me.
Okay.
Hold on 1 second. Hello, this is RJ. Donald, are you there? I lost her too. I thought that was the Texas contract. That wasn't. Spam.
Hello?
Hey, is Deborah there?
Yeah, it's me.
Hey.
Hey, don't go too far. Hey, honey, I got news for you. My phone is possessed by I'm not sure what. I don't know. Maybe my house is sitting on a funeral or a mortuary or on dead people. I don't know. Because, honest to God, I get more crap on my phone. And right now, like I say, they've got all of these people running around getting people lined up for this stuff. And these ads just cut right over everything and cut everything. If I'm on the phone, it cuts you off and it takes over. Yeah, it's fun.
It's crazy. All right.
What do you mean?
So I got a couple of questions about your house.
Yeah,
You ready?
I'm ready.
All right. You bought this in 2020
That's right.
and you took out a mortgage for $76,000.
Yep.
Do you have a second mortgage or just that one?
I have a second on it.
So altogether, your monthly payment is it? Hold on.
$630.12.
$630.12.
Because I don't pay the second one until the first one is done.
And that does that include taxes and insurance?
Yep. I also have a woman in Tampa, Florida, who has my identity. The reason I have a second mortgage is because she has my identity and managed to get $20,000 worth of my Social Security checks before I could get my bank and the Social Security office to recognize that there was a freaking problem. I wasn't getting these checks. The bank is saying, I'm not getting your deposits. And the Social Security is saying, we're mailing it to your bank. We're sending it to your bank. But they were busy passing the blame game. And only to find out, I finally went to and printed out a year's worth of my bank statements. And I took them to my bank and showed them that I found out I'd gotten they got 3 of my checks that particular year deposited. And then I went to the Social Security office and I asked them, I said, can you print me off where you're sending my Social Security checks are? And they sent me off a whole year's worth of them. And it was the remaining 9 went to Tampa, Florida. completely different bank, Chase Morgan, with under my name, with my social security number, the whole bit. But they're playing the blame game, and I can't get social security to recognize that they sucked up and gave the social security, transferred it over to her. And she's got my driver's license number. She's got my social security number. She's taking out new loans on my name and using my daughters as references. And they live in Texas. And my one daughter is pissed as hell because she works for the sheriff down there. She's mad. But they can't do anything about this crazy bitch because nobody's got enough interest to say, we owe this other woman $40,000. And so when those payments didn't come and they were supposed to be direct deposits and they were supposed to be auto pays to my mortgage company, I didn't know they weren't going. So that's why they put, instead of taking my house and putting all that money back into the mortgage that I owed it, they gave me a second mortgage because the interest on the original loan is 2.7%.
I know.
Isn't that nice?
It is. Part of me wanted it. Part of me wants that loan.
Oh, yeah. If we could find a way to transfer it over, I'd be a happy girl. I'd do it.
So there is a way to do that. We don't have to transfer it over.
Well, I don't know what you do.
The mortgage would stay in your name, but the property would go in mine, and I would start making payments.
You promise?
I promise better than all the crazy shit you just told me has been going on.
I've been screwed more times than I can tell you, and I never even get kissed. That sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm fighting with everybody, and I'm alone doing it, fighting with these people, and I can't just move without. I have six animals, 3 dogs and 3 cats, but I can't afford this house anymore. There's a friend of mine who wants me to move to LA with him. I've known him for a while. His mom knew my mom, and so when she found out that my mom died, then she found out that I was having problems, and then she told her son, and it's like, oh shit. And he decided, he's a widow, so he said, well, he's been keeping an eye on me for the last year, and it's like, okay, that's enough of this crap. I have this huge house. Come move in with me.
So if I said you never have to make another mortgage payment, would you?
I'd be a happy camper.
Would you just pack up and just go to LA?
Damn straight. I've already called him and told him, I said, get the truck. Let's go. What do I need to bring? And the other option would be at this point, what can I leave? Can I just have a big ass, hey, come in and take what you want sale? Because everything I have is early attic.
Is early attic? What?
Well, early attic is, I call it early attic. It's called, I picked it up somewhere at a garage sale. I picked it up at the most expensive thing I have are 2 flat screen TVs. I've got a 65-inch and a 55-inch flat screens. Plus my bed, I paid $700 for it. Just the frame.
Jeez.
It's a four-poster bed made solid wood. And it is taller than I am, and I'm 5'2".
You sound taller than 5'2".
Oh, that's because I'm ballsy.
Yeah.
I have a twin brother that he's just like everybody else, no balls either. I've always been the tough ass in the family. My mother said, one of these days somebody's going to come back at you, and I said, I dare. Go ahead, make my day. That was always my favorite. After that movie came out with Clint Eastwood,
yeah.
Make my day. Yes.
All right. So
I would not be unhappy with it.
How long would you need to get ready to?
It's either that or I have to. There's a problem in the bedroom, so that ceiling has to be repaired. But That's it.
I'm looking at the pictures from 2020. I mean, I'm assuming you haven't messed it up too bad.
No, the only problem is that ceiling right there. Hardwood floors.
And the second mortgage was for 11,000.
Yeah.
Okay. You're not paying on that second one until the first one's paid off, right?
That's correct.
How long would you need to get ready to go to LA?
As soon as I get a hold of my partner in crime and tell him, okay, send the truck.
Pretty quick.
I have to keep. So how soon do you want it?
I don't know. I want you to give me a couple weeks.
I can give you more than that. Because that's going to take long. I'm still getting rid of stuff. I have a brand new refrigerator in it.
All right. So hold on. Hold on. We gotta go back. We gotta go back to the deal. The only way that I'll do this with you is the next time I go to LA. We no coffee. We didn't talk about coffee. We're gonna go to White Castle, and we're gonna get high as shit together, and then we're gonna eat as much White Castle as we could possibly eat.
Well, that won't be hard because I can do that.
Yeah.
And on top of that, since my husband died, I've lost almost 100 pounds.
So instead of Harold and Kumar, it's gonna be RJ and Deborah.
Yeah. Went to White Castle.
RJ and Deborah go to White Castle.
White Castle over there?
I don't know. We'll figure it out. If not, we'll find some little mini burgers to eat, and we'll pretend it's White Castle.
Someplace else to wear.
All right.
I have a grill on my back deck. It's a barrel grill.
Yeah.
I also have a electric smoker on the grill. I also have. It might be an added plus. I'm not sure if I'm taking this with me yet. A John Deere riding tractor, an S240 for mowing your grass.
Yeah, you should take that. That's worth a lot of money.
Yeah, and I also have a snowblower.
It snows there?
Yes, it does. They told me 2 inches. I'm from Minnesota, and they lied.
It's more or less.
It's less. It's less. You'll get snow flurries here and there, but the day that we moved in was October. Well, I bought the house on October 10th of 20. We moved in November 10th of 20. And the next month, January, we got 16 inches of snow in my front yard.
That's crazy.
And everybody came screaming, going, "You brought that shit with you?" But then I went outside with my snowblower and I did everybody's driveways, and I built the front of the house has got a ramp on it that I built, and it has. So I went outside with my snowblower and my winter gear from Minnesota, ran the snowblower, and they all came out going, "What the hell is that noise?" Because when you run a snowblower, it goes, and it slows down again, and it slows down again. Yeah, they couldn't figure what that noise was. They were used to chainsaws and weed whackers, and I also have a Viper in my garage, which is not a car. Don't get excited. It's a front end weed whacker that's on wheels. and a lawnmower. Don't get excited. You have no idea how many weird people say I got a Viper in my garage.
This woman is.
Let's see. No, that's not that one, you dumb shit. I got a freaking Viper in my garage.
Unmatched.
Yeah, they get weird.
Oh man,
But,
Deborah, you crack me up.
that's part of my job in life, to be weird.
Yeah.
Somebody has to be there, so I can do it. I've done way too much living to not be funny. I have a statue of this little old lady. Do you remember old pictures of Carol Burnett on the Carol Burnett show ever?
I'm 40.
Oh, you could remember it. Yeah, you could.
I have a very good memory. I'm sorry.
Okay, but she has this old lady, frumpy washerwoman type thing. Well, well, this is kind of like I have a statue similar to her, but this is like an old fairy with wings on her back and everything, and she's holding a bag of marbles in her hand. The bag of marbles has a hole in it, and so you can see them where they've fallen down onto the floor and onto her foot, things like that. And the sign in front of it says, "I think I'm losing my marbles." They gave that to me in the hospital when I saved that guy's life.
All right, Deborah, I got a serious question, okay?
Yes. What?
So the next thing that I have to ask you so I can send you paperwork is what's your email? But I have your email, but I'm curious as to why your email is zookeeper.
Zookeeper is because when Mike and I lived in Texas, we used to do animal rescue. We would have dogs and kittens that nobody wanted, or they were too bombs, weren't able to take care of their babies fast enough, or they were just plain old and they were going to die. And so instead of them dying in the pound or at the vet, they would die here in our home, and then they would be cremated. They would die in our arms, knowing that they're loved. That was the reason we did that. I did that.
Man.
Yes, my heart cried a lot, but because I have them all cremated and all on a shelf in my living room, along with my husband who's on the shelf.
Holy shit! How many urns do you have?
Well, my Great Dane is the biggest one, and he weighs 22 pounds. He was 214 pounds when he died. 1, 2, 3, 4, probably a dozen.
A dozen?
Yeah.
Wow.
Or maybe a little more. But, that doesn't count the fact that there are 3 kittens in one. I also saved 2 dogs that had parvo. Without giving parvo to 2 Great Danes and 2 other big dogs. My Great Dane was so big when he stood up on his hind legs and put his paws on Mike's shoulders, they would look at each other eye to eye.
Yeah, but you said you're a baby. You're 5'2".
I know. I came up to his armpits.
Yeah. All right, so Deborah, this is what I'm gonna do.
I always dated. For some reason, I always dated taller men. I don't know why. And then he was great when you took him to the grocery store because he'd always reach everything. But then when he started getting bad and not able to get around as well, then it was like, oh shit, that means I'd go to the Coke department and get a couple of flats and bring them with me, and I'd wander around the store, or just bring in your own damn step ladder, which I did. I'd take my own step ladder to Walmart. And they'd say, why do you do that? I said, because I can never find somebody to help me. And if we do find them, they'll go, well, I'm busy. That's like, well, kiss my freaking ass. Okay. So if they're not going to help me, I'll just do it myself. But then, what if you fall off there? I said, then it's your freaking fault. Ha-ha. But trust me, I ain't falling down to break nothing just so you can have me pick on you. Because I'm the one that has to suffer in the long run. I break something falling off this damn ladder. No. There ain't no way.
I've heard a lot of things. I've never heard of someone taking their own step ladder to Walmart.
I take it there. I take it to the Dollar General store, to the General Dollar, or whatever the hell, the Family Dollar, or what. Anyway, there's a couple of them out there. You can't find a dead cat without finding them in this town, too. There's like 7 Dollar Tree stores, and then there's the Dollar General, and they've got like 8 of them, and yeah. Well, I take my own step ladder with them, or step stool. It's just one of these things. You pop it up, and you've got a couple of steps.
Right.
Take it with me. I just got tired of looking for people to help me. Or walking up to a total stranger saying, can I borrow you for a moment? And they'll go look at me like, what? Well, there's up on this top rack, and they'll either say yes or they'll say fuck off. And yeah, they're not always that nice. And so but if they don't, or if I walk up, or if they see me pulling Coke out, most of the problem I have is getting Diet Coke out of the top rack on the skids. So if I just pull a couple of packs out of cans, I'll stand them up, on top of each other. I stand on that and bring them out. Bring them out. Find a way to get it done. Then they get pissed when you do that. I said, well, then you get somebody to help out you, for Christ's sake.
All right, Deborah, you ready?
All right.
Let's do this. I'm going to send you over a contract. I did the math. I believe you owe somewhere in the range of $78,273. Does that sound accurate?
I have no idea. I could call my bank and find out.
All right, we're going to do that at a later date. Here's what's going to happen. I'm going to send you a contract. I'm going to send you a contract for $78,273. But on the contract, I'm going to make it contingent upon we're actually buying the property subject to your existing mortgage. Meaning we're just going to take it over and we're going to make the payments. And then you're going to go to LA and you're going to live with your dude out there. And then when I go to LA, me and you are going to go get high as shit and eat some White Castle.
You're going to have to buy the shit because I don't know where to get it. I've never had any. I used to date a guy who was a runner for Mesh Pressure and Spence. He's a lawyer in Minnesota. And Mesh Pressure was really into the getting high thing back then.
Yeah.
And so Jerry was the runner for him to deliver his stashes to everybody.
You ever smoke a cigarette before?
No.
Never?
Never.
Man, that's crazy.
Why can help you think I'm so healthy?
Wow. Well, I just thought at some point in time you would have smoked like one.
Nope.
That's crazy.
He smoked pot. He got high, and then we fuck on the floor. Excuse me. Was that loud? Oh, damn. But that was out loud, wasn't it? Oh, shit.
Oh, man. You cracked me up. Yeah. All right, so I'm going to send that.
Half my mind is missing, and the other half is out looking for it. What do you want?
Yeah, it's all right. So I'm going to send that contract over to your email there. It'll probably be in your email box here in the next 15, 20 minutes. And then
I have to go to the library to print it.
You don't have to print it. You can literally sign it right there on the email. You just literally click the buttons. You don't have to go.
It's just insane.
Yep. Welcome to 2025.
So if that's the case, is it okay if I leave the RV here for a little while until I can find somebody to take it?
I mean, you can give it to me if you want to.
It needs a new roof.
All right, I don't want it. Yeah, you can leave.
The wind has torn it off with the wind down here.
How long are you going to leave it?
I don't know. I have not a clue at this point. I'm just trying to work it out. And it has a full tank of gas. And it runs on gas. Not diesel. 39 feet. Sleeps 10.
I cannot. I don't do anything with that. I gotta just take your house. I can't take the RV too.
Okay, that's fine. I'll find some way to get rid of it.
Put it on Craigslist or something.
That'll work. I hadn't thought about Craigslist.
Yeah, do that. All right, Deborah, I'm gonna send that over to you, and once you sign that, then we'll schedule. We'll probably need to come out, do a walkthrough. We'll open up title and do all the stuff, but we'll get you taken care of in the next couple of weeks. Okay.
And is there anything you want me to leave in this house?
I'll let you know when we come look at it.
I mean, I'll leave the refrigerator, but I love this refrigerator. Except the only problem is, ever since day one, the ice maker has never worked. I've had them take it out 4 times and replace it. And because it's a Samsung, it has a 10-year warranty on everything. But this ice maker, it's a manufacturing flaw.
I don't care.
How they built it's how they created it. It doesn't work. It freezes up in the back of the ice maker so that it doesn't make ice.
No ice maker. We're good.
No.
I
can leave you my ice trays. I went a couple of weeks ago and bought ice trays.
Oh, we're good.
I'm making my own freaking ice. Whatever.
I love it. All right, Deborah. Well, I'm going to get that sent over to you, and once you get it,
Jay what?
RJ.
What's it called? RJ.
Robert John. Robert John Bates III.
Robert John Bates III.
Bates III. Yes, ma'am.
Oh, Bates.
Yeah, like Bates Motel.
As in fishing bait.
No, like Norman Bates.
Oh God, that Norman Bates.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yep.
Scared the shit out of me.
Yeah.
scary movies.
It's all right. I'm not crazy like
It
him.
makes me want to wet my pants.
Don't do that.
Oh, shit. Oh, my God. I'm so losing my freaking mind.
All right. Well, I'm going to get that sent over to you. Let me know if you have any questions. Okay, Deborah?
Okay, and you with what company are we?
What company am I with?
Yeah, you with a company?
I own the company. My company is Titanium Investments.
Titanium Investments. Oh, okay. I'll tell my friend. Titanium Investments.
Wait, does your friend have a house they want to sell?
Well, he just sold one in LA.
All right. Well, let me know if he has any other ones. Let's get this one done first, though.
This one he just bought, and he said, what? He just said he spent $700,000 for it.
Jeez. You're going to go have some fun in LA.
I don't know. I've never been to LA, so it should be interesting.
You'll love it.
I've never been to New York. He travels a lot, all over the country and all over the globe. So he travels a lot, so I'll be home a lot by myself, maybe.
All right.
Travel with him, which would be fun.
Well, let's get you out there. All right, Deborah. I appreciate you.
Tell me the numbers again.
I'm just taking over the mortgage.
Take over mortgage.
So I put down 78,273 because I believe that's what you owe on it. But we'll figure it out. We'll get a payoff from your mortgage company. Yeah.
From my mortgage company.
Yeah.
Which is Penny Mac, by the way, in California.
Awesome.
Which is Penny Mac.
Yes, ma'am.
And, they've been good to me.
I love it.
They have been good because they're the ones that said, I told them, I said, I do not want to refinance this mortgage. So please don't add that into it. And that's when she said, well, let's just do this. So then she set that up. And that's why this first mortgage is sitting here. It's still at 2.78%.
I love it.
I'll do a deal. I'll make a deal with somebody who's willing to make a deal and live up to their end of it.
Well, there you go.
If you don't, I'll chase you with my gun.
I hear you. Let's do it, Deborah.
He drives a motorcycle, so we'll be chasing your ass down.
All right. Well, Deborah, I appreciate you. I'm going to get this sent out. I got to get on the next call, okay?
All right. You have a right. Good luck.
All right. Bye-bye.
Good luck with your next phone call.
Yes, ma'am.
You're going to have as much fun with that one as this one?
Never, Deborah. You're number one.
You got my number.
I do. Bye-bye.